1,
2,
3,
4.
Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster.
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honeybee.
Fun time, go!
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. I am one of your hosts, Precious D.
And I am the other one of your hosts, Honeybee.
Honeybee and I are two best friends who are making our way through the history of kaiju movies. We started in 1933 with the original King Kong, and today we are up to 2002. With the monster comedy horror film Eight-Legged Freaks.
Oh!
It was originally titled A Rack Attack and was released in some countries under that title. But I think there was a war going on or something, and it sounded too much like Iraq Attack.
Oh.
And they didn't want people to think it was that kind of a movie because it's not.
Oh my gosh. I actually read something that said, while they were filming, and the guy's like, get out of here, you eight-legged freaks. That the director was like, haha, that's it.
Yes. Yeah, so that's where they ended up getting the title from. But while they were writing it and working on it, they were calling it Iraq Attack. So let's see. It is, as I said, from 2002. It is Warner Brothers, United States, 103 minutes. The budget was $30 million, and the box office was $45 million. So just barely making its money back. And I don't know if that budget includes advertising and such. It stars David Arquette as Chris McCormick, the proprietor of a mine. Kari Wooher, I've seen her in a bunch of stuff, but I don't know how to say her name. As Samantha Sam Parker, the sheriff of Prosperity. Scott Terra as Mike Parker. You know, Wikipedia, we understand how diminutives work. You don't need to put the parentheses. You could just say Mike Parker, if that's what they call him most of the time. He is the son of Samantha Parker. Dougie Doug as Harlan Griffith.
Hey!
An extraterrestrial enthusiast who owns his own radio station.
I love this guy. The first thing I saw him in, I think, was Cool Runnings. He was Sanka.
Okay. I believe he started out on A Different World wearing very distinctive glasses.
Oh.
With like flip up sunglasses. It was his thing.
Oh, cool.
That's what we all thought at the time. Don't know how well those hold up. A very young Scarlett Johansson as Ashley Parker, daughter of Samantha Parker. She is not done baking yet in this movie. She is not yet a fully formed Scarlett Johansson.
She is baby.
Rick Overton, who is very fully baked in this movie as Deputy Peterson Pete Willis. Leon Rippey as Wade, the mayor of Prosperity. Matt Chuchry, oh my God. Czuchry is the man's last name. As Brett, the boyfriend of Ashley. J. Arlen Jones, am I pronouncing that right? Jones, as Leon. Eileen Ryan as Gladys, the aunt of Chris. Riley Smith as Randy. Matt Hallwick as Larry. Jane Edith Wilson as Emma Willis. Jack Moore as Amos, Roy Gaintner as Floyd, Don Champlin as Leroy, John Christopher Story as Mark, David Earl Waterman as Norman, and Tom Noonan as Joshua Taft, uncredited, a spider farmer. Why was he uncredited? That was an important
That was a very, very important part.
Yeah, he had a rather big scene before he died. And a really big scene while he was dying.
Aww.
It says here the director, we didn't mention him, Elroy Elkayem, got the idea from his 1997 short film Larger Than Life, which also handled a spider fighting storyline. Yes, the Iraq War was just starting, I guess, when this came out, so they thought a rack attack was inappropriate. So David Arquette had already made Scream and possibly some of the sequels when this came out. So he was kind of in the middle of his career, I guess. Yeah, Scream 3 had already come out.
Wow.
So at the time, it seemed like he was done with the Scream films and was moving on to spider movies. But of course, in 2011, came back to do some more Scream.
But of course.
So, Honeybee, what are your initial thoughts, feelings, impressions?
Well, I had already seen this movie. This is another movie that my mom showed me. I kind of just remember us renting it and her being super excited about it. My mom really loved, like, kind of creature movies, you know, like big creature movies. Like, this is another one I think that we've seen so far. It was Gremlins, this one, and there was another one that I was thinking about. But yeah, this was just one of those movies that my mom was like excited to show me and excited for me to see. My sister is so deathly afraid of spiders. I mean, like, I have chased her around the house with a dead spider because I was an asshole. But like, she was so deathly afraid of spiders. So I just remember us like renting this movie and then my sister like not being okay with it and just like throwing a fit. And it was kind of like this thing where it was like, heh, like me and my mom got to, you know, watch this movie. So I had already seen it, but I had really remembered kind of the time more than I had remembered the movie. There were a few parts in the movie that I did remember, like the ostriches blowing up. And there was another scene that like, I was like, oh yeah, like I do remember this. But other than that, it was still fairly new to me. Hey, get out of that. Sorry, my dog was trying to drink my coffee. Anyways, but yeah, I thought it was really funny in the comedy horror thing. I absolutely love the noises that the like smaller spiders make. It very much reminded me of the gingerbread men and the like tiny creatures in like Krampus, you know, like the little evil creatures who are just
I
like,
knew you would like that.
yes, I loved it so much. They're just like chattering about and just hee hee, blah, blah, blah. I love that. I love it. It really just makes me so freaking happy inside. What else? Initial thoughts. Did you notice that when Mike is telling his mom about the spiders, that Them is playing on the TV?
Yes, I think I did notice that. Or I knew it was one of the old movies we had.
Yeah, I had to look it up, but I knew it. I was like, what is it? I know it's something. I know we've seen it. What is it? It was totally Them, which I thought was awesome. Such an awesome little Easter egg in there. Yeah, I mean, it was super fun to watch. It was super silly. I love the sound effects. I love spiders personally. So I just really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was super fun and silly and definitely 2002 in every way. Yeah. What about you? What do you think?
Okay. I did not see this in the theater, but I bought it on DVD like back then when it first came out. So I think I had just wanted to see it in theaters and missed it. So I bought it right away because I knew it was the kind of thing I probably would watch again. I currently own a digital copy. Folks, if you want to watch this movie, it's not streaming anywhere, but you can rent or buy it on all the usual things. The Vudu, the Amazon, the Google, the YouTube, all that stuff.
Yes, this was a movie that like we rented from Blockbuster, and I specifically remember renting this and Cujo. And just because like it was just something that we did was kind of like watch these, movies that were like kind of spooky, like scary. And I remember watching this and like really loving it, but just kind of being like, when your hair touches you and you're like slapping yourself like about the spiders. And then we watched Cujo and I was afraid of my dog for like a week.
Well, I enjoyed it then and I enjoyed it again now. I think the CGI holds up pretty well. It's all CGI spiders, I think, completely. I'm not sure if there's any practical effects.
I think that when they're in the very beginning of the movie, when they're showing the tarantulas in their actual, there may be like a moment where there's an actual tarantula, but that's really it.
Yeah, the ones in the terrariums and fish bowls, whatever, at the beginning are probably real. But once they start attacking people
and start chattering.
I read the cast. I should read these spiders used in the film. The following spiders were used in the film: jumping spider, orb weaving spider. It says Consuela, matriarch of the spider army, and her fellow male orb weavers. Tarantula, Tank, the pink-toe tarantula, second in command of the spider army. Trapdoor spider, spitting spider, and tiger wolf spider.
And the spider that bites Joshua is a pink-toe tarantula from South America. Yeah, they are gorgeous.
I don't particularly like spiders, but they don't, give me nightmares or anything like that. I know some people are really bothered by them. In fact, these days in role-playing games, a lot of people like to use safety tools, just sort of going over your things with your players before you begin about what kind of things are you not comfortable with, what sort of things should we just not deal with, or we can sort of deal with off camera, as it were. It's not literally camera, but we'll just sort of draw a veil over that. So it'll be things like sexual abuse, animal endangerment, child endangerment, and spiders. I'm like, okay, really? And I even have one game where there's an option of a no spiders edition.
Wow.
There's an alternate version of the game that leaves out any references to spiders.
Oh gosh, I love spiders. But I do understand though, because like I said, my sister, she literally had arachnophobia. I remember when I like got my first cell phone, or not my first cell phone, but I guess like a cell phone where you could take pictures and send pictures, and I would just like across the room send my sister a picture of a spider just to watch her throw her phone and cry.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really, really bad. And as an adult, I understand how fucked up that is and how horrible it is. So not that my sister is listening to this podcast, but if you're out there, Tiffany, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I tortured you with the spiders.
Well, let's get into the plot from Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia. Oh, I was trying to let me look up the kill count. We need to start doing kill counts again. Looks like oh gosh, this looks pretty big.
Really? Oh yeah, I guess because they attacked the whole city.
Well, it's also counting the spiders though. It's 297.
Damn.
But that is also counting the spiders. So we have like Joshua killed by tarantulas, Joshua's parrot killed by tarantulas, the cat killed by a wolf spider, Chris's father, ostriches, Randall, humans, spiders, Randy, 2 motorcycle, another motorcycle. I guess that means a person on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
But then we got spider, 2 spiders, 6 spiders, Amos, the truck driver, dog. So, but yeah, we have other kill counts that count the monsters. So, yeah, 297 things killed in this movie.
Damn.
That's quite a lot. Anyway, now let's do the plot from Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia. On a highway outside of the quiet mining town of Prosperity, Arizona, a truck driver carrying a load of chemicals swerves to avoid a rabbit, causing a barrel of toxic waste to land in a pond. Crickets that feed from the pond are collected by an exotic spider farmer named Joshua Taft. Okay, I kind of missed how the spiders got infected.
Yeah.
I was not clear what was going on there.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was from the chemicals.
Sure.
But I didn't quite get that he fed them tainted crickets. That makes sense.
Yeah. Also, guys, I know you never want to run something over, and it sucks, but especially if you're in a semi, if a rabbit runs in front of you, don't swerve. You may kill someone.
Don't contaminate the river with chemical waste. Because of
I know it
Tyler's
sucks
anyway.
to run something over. Like, oh gosh, I know it's horrible. I've done it,
Yeah.
But also, God, like you cannot do that. You cannot, especially in an 18-wheeler.
Right.
Like you, oh my gosh.
I saw Joshua out there, but I thought I didn't catch that he was gathering crickets to feed to the spiders. So that makes sense, though. 1 week later, he shows Mike Parker, a local boy, his collection, including an enormous female orb weaver spider from Brazil named Consuela. After Mike leaves, Joshua is bitten by an escaped tarantula and accidentally knocks down the spider cages. He knocks down all the spider cages.
Okay, but also we got to talk about when he's like explaining to Mike. He's like, they're talking about the spiders, and he's explaining to Mike how the spider does the cocoon thing, and he's like, you know how much women love breakfast in bed, and I'm like, whoa, he's a child, why would he know that? why no,
Kids bring their mother's breakfast in bed.
I don't know, it was
Like on their birthdays and things.
I guess I was just like, why would he know that? He's a little boy. But then it made sense later on in the movie, because later on in the movie Mike repeats it. He's like, you know how much women love breakfast in bed? I was like, oh, okay, well that's kind of cute. But at first I was like, why the fuck would he know that, Joshua? Come on, that's weird.
Well, I think Joshua spends a lot of time alone.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. I definitely don't think he's the creep that Sam, Mike's mom, he's like, you don't need to hang out with that weirdo.
Really
I know. I didn't feel like he was that kind of dude.
So stay away from that guy. I'm like, wait, come on. He's not touching me.
He's not touching him.
It's fine.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, yeah, no, she's acting like that. And like, the guy's doing science. He's lonely. The kid's interested in science. It's fine. There's nothing inappropriate.
Yeah, same.
She was being a jerk. Josh was killed by the spiders alongside his pet parrot. After devouring him, the spiders grow to even larger proportions due to the toxins of the crickets Joshua fed them. After another week, Chris McCormick, whose father owned the mines before he died 10 years ago, shows up and stands against Wade, the mayor of Prosperity, about his proposition to sell the mine. Why is he just now coming back if his dad died 10 years ago?
And something that I just did not get, this, how come no one recognizes this guy? Like, I get it that it's like 10 years, like, sure, that's a long time, but as far as they're speaking, like, he beat up Sam's husband 10 years ago, so he was already an adult. It's not like he was a kid and they saw him as a kid, and then 10 years passed, now he's an adult, and they're like, oh, who is this guy? No, he was an adult, and then he left, and now he's still an adult, and he came back, but no, like, everyone that sees him at first doesn't recognize him at first, and I'm like, what the fuck is
his
this?
Own aunt. His own damn aunt does not. I don't think this is right, though. I think he's been gone for 10 years, but his father just recently died, and that's why he's coming back.
That does make
That's the impression
that does
I
make more sense, but I think they literally did say his dad died 10 years before. But
All right, folks, call in and let us know,
maybe
'cause
not.
I'm not going to go back.
Yeah,
and check.
yeah. I don't know. I'm just like, how come no one recognizes this poor guy?
Yes. Anyway, he stands up against Wade, the mayor of Prosperity, about his proposition to sell the mine, as he believes that his father had discovered a gold vein in the mine. Chris also sparks a romance with Sam Parker, the town sheriff, and Mike's mother.
Really?
And there's also a bit about the mayor has some crazy plan for the mine, and everybody's like, yeah, well, that mall that you built didn't work out. Apparently he's got all these plans for the town, and that none of them have worked out so far. And now I think he wants to sell the mine to the government so they can store toxic waste there, which is why the guy was coming to town in the first place with the shit on his truck.
Yeah.
And it turns out later, well, I'm sure Wikipedia will tell us, but it turns out later that he's been already storing stuff in the mine without permission. Meanwhile, Wade is holding a town meeting in the mall about whether they should sell the mines and relocate. There you go. Wade later on insults Chris's father for being delusional, for thinking that gold is in the mine, only to be punched by
Yeah,
Chris.
right in the fucking
Mike
face.
sneaks out. Yeah. Mike sneaks out on foot and finds Joshua and the spiders missing. The farm covered in webbing and the dead body of Joshua. Although he sees an enormous spider shadow in the mines and tells Chris that the spiders have grown to enormous size based on a giant spider leg he found at the mine entrance, Chris does not believe
Yeah,
it.
the first cocoon like type thing we get to see is Joshua, and it is really cool. I think this effect like throughout the whole thing with the people being like webbed up is so cool. I do kind of have an issue with the Wikipedia saying that that Chris sparks a romance with Sam, because I don't really think that happens. Like, I think there's some tension there, but there's this whole story about how her husband like cheated or something, and then he beat the shit out of her husband, and he's kind of awkward about it. Like, at one time he brings her flowers, but like nothing ever really comes of it or happens. There's no real romance.
Doesn't she? No, she kisses him.
No,
at the
they don't
end.
kiss. They just hug.
He keeps trying.
They hug. They side hug.
you
I'm
sure?
positive. I am positive because
After I thought, because there's the point, he keeps trying to tell her something all throughout the movie, and she's finally at one point says, "I know you punched my husband because you found out that he was cheating on me, but you didn't want to tell me because you didn't want to break up the family, and you love me and you always have." Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Yes, that's it." And I thought she kissed him real quick right then before she went off to go kill.
oh,
some
maybe I missed that little
shit.
kiss.
I'm pretty sure she kissed him right after that. It wasn't a big sloppy thing. So he's trying to spark a romance. He's trying to spark a romance. Seeds at the end, but
Yeah.
we don't get to see where that goes. But I like this part this part in the truck where the kid's telling him about it, and he says that nobody believes the kid. It's like, you're not going to believe me because nobody ever believes the kid, but this is what's going on. And he shows him this big spider leg, and he's like, hey, it kind of looks like a twig to me. But then later on, he tells everybody.
Dead cactus.
Yeah, that was it, a piece of cactus. And later on, he tells everybody, you got to believe the kid.
Yeah. We got to talk about his aunt, too, because she has probably the best line in the whole movie, which I had to rewind to see if this is what she actually said because I wasn't sure. But she says, lose the face fuzz before you do. He's going to go, try to spark this romance with Sam. And his aunt says, lose the face fuzz before you do. It makes your mouth look like a stripper's twat.
Oh, my God.
I know. And she had, we're talking like cigarette in the mouth, blue eyeshadow, red lipstick. It was I was like, what? And I had to rewind it. Like, did she just say that?
Yeah,
and it was hands down the best line in the whole entire film. So
when he first comes back to town, he comes to wherever it is she's working, and she's like, we're not hiring. And he's like, are you sure? He's like, no, in fact, I think she says they're going to be closing down soon or something, and we just had to let someone go. And he's like, well, I'm a pretty good geologist or something like that. And she's still just not really even paying attention. And then he finally says that his name is Chris. And she looks up and she's like, Chris? And that's when we find out that she's his goddamn aunt who didn't recognize him. Gladys.
Gladys, yes, that's right.
Yeah, Gladys, because only aunts are named Gladys. Anyway,
and
moving on.
only aunts can get away with that makeup and say strippers twat and no one blink an eye.
Yep. Seeing as the entire town is connected in some way to the mines, spiders show up in many different places. Oh, they mean literally connected. Harlan Griffiths, an eccentric extraterrestrial enthusiast, is broadcasting his theory that various missing pets around town have been abducted by aliens. He is actually, Harlan's the framing sequence. He starts off the movie telling us this story, and then they close the book like you're supposed to, like nobody ever does.
Yay!
Because they come back to him at the end to wrap up the story. So I appreciated that.
I love this guy. I love his character. I just love him. He is one of my favorite parts about the movie. Just love him. Love him.
It was not clear to me
him.
if he ever played any music or if he just rambled for 8 hours a day about his conspiracy theories.
It was just like a talk radio type situation.
Right. AM coast to coast, but just for this town. So yeah, he thinks the pets have been abducted by aliens. A farmer finds his ostriches missing. That was another thing, though, that the mayor had started up, the ostrich farming. That was not
for the ostrich burgers.
Yeah, not taking off. But yeah, there is an ostrich burger joint in town. He's like, they got good meat. They're missing, and trapdoor spiders were found to be preying on them. Ashley, Sam's daughter, and Mike's older sister, breaks up with her boyfriend Brett before he and his motorcyclist friends are chased by jumping spiders. Yeah, he's coming on too strong. She keeps telling him no. No means no, Brett.
Yeah. And everyone take note. If you don't understand consent, you will get tased in the balls, just like Brett. And some beautiful young Scarlett Johansson will tase you in the balls and steal your truck. This is what happens, kids. So
some guys are into that. So tase me, Scarlett. No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you. There was a whole scene earlier with she's arguing with her mother, but her mother wants her to take this taser, and at first she doesn't want to, but then she does and uses it on her boyfriend.
And the taser actually comes in handy quite a few times in this movie, it turns out. Yeah. But before this, I do have to say there's this moment where we kind of, when the spiders are, going in random places, and we kind of see this random couple with a cat, and the guy is remodeling the house, and the cat gets into the drywall, and they're like, oh, again with the cat in the drywall. And then this cat and the spider get in a fight, which the sound effects are so good, just like the cat and the spider fighting. But the actual Tom and Jerry moment of this cat and the spider fighting and the CGI of like the cat and the spider imprints in the wall were just so good. I love that. Oh, I loved it so much.
I have actually had to deal with a kitten inside the drywall.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Some cat got in and had kittens, and then
oh my god,
there's a little hole in the drywall, and one of the kittens climbed in there, and we had to like cut a new hole to get it to come out.
No.
Anyway, Brett, the only survivor, accidentally cuts off the telephone line and ends up stuck in the mine in the process. While traversing the mines, he finds Consuela feeding on victims who are trapped in spider webbing. Chris finds out that his Aunt Gladys and her dog are abducted by a male orb weaver in their basement. Sam is convinced Chris and Mike are delusional, but realizes they were right all along after witnessing a giant male orb weaver attempting to abduct Ashley and Chris. Well, that'll
like you do.
Sam kills the spider with a shotgun and saves them both before contacting Pete to tell him to bring all guns in the police station's possession to the mall. Is there just one sheriff and one deputy in this whole town?
Yes, and what's weird about it is, why do they call the sheriff at her home? Like, a guy goes to like call the sheriff, not another cop, the guy with the cat in the wall. He calls Sheriff Sam at her house. Like, is that normal?
It is that small of a town that everybody has the sheriff's home number.
Yeah, I guess so.
The group consisting, is this a pre-cell phone movie? I think it is.
Well, there's one part where the guy's like, doesn't anyone have a cell phone? And no one does. So I think it's just like before everyone had one.
They exist, but they weren't every place.
Yeah.
We weren't all carrying a television in our pocket. Let's see. The group, consisting of Ashley, Chris, Sam, and Mike, escaped to Harlan's trailer knowing he has a radio station in his trailer. Yeah, they can't use the phones, so they've got to... Well, yeah, that's why it's important that no one has a cell phone, because the phone lines are down. So they have to go to the radio station. As Sam broadcasts the threat over the radio, she's telling everybody over the radio, I'm serious now. This isn't a joke. Town is under attack by giant spiders. And then the spiders, everybody immediately finds out it's true. As Sam broadcasts the threat over the radio, a giant tarantula, the tank of the horde, assaults the trailer, but they manage to escape. As the town is besieged,
I love the scene. It's so cool. Oh, and I love when the spider, there's one spider, it's one of the smaller ones, but even the smaller ones are really big. But when he sees, or she, I don't know, the spider sees like a taxidermy deer or something on the wall and goes like, jumps on it then like bites it. And then it's like, what the hell? Like, pleh, pleh. Yeah. I love that.
Very upset. It's like trying to eat the wax fruit.
Yeah.
Let's see. As the town is besieged by vicious spider hordes, many people are eaten. Sam tells everybody to evacuate to the mall and barricade themselves, while Wade flees into the mines and locks the gate before the attack.
Question: did this help people? Because I feel like she was like, everybody get to this place. And then all of the people were like out in the streets, like running and going to this place. And they were all fucking getting attacked and eaten. Right. Whereas like if they would have just like stayed in their own homes or I don't know,
it's really
gone
hard
to
to
their
know,
basements or something. Yeah, I just felt like, yikes.
People were getting attacked in their homes. So it's hard to know. Her idea was that the mall was all concrete and would be, harder for them to break into.
Man, I don't know. It felt kind of bad.
Yeah,
to
Wade.
me.
Wade is not Wade. Yes, the mayor. Who's the mayor? Wade.
Sure, we'll call him the mayor.
He's in the mall all by himself, having an ostrich burger, and has no idea what's going on. And he's about to leave when he sees everybody come driving up to the mall. And he says to himself, if you build it, they will come. Like finally people are coming to shop at the mall. But no, they're just seeking refuge. Anyway, let's see. While Wade flees into the mines and locks the gate before the attack, forcing the rest to defend themselves from the arachnids. Harlan and Chris climb onto the roof and ascend the radio mast and try to get a signal to call the army as they are being attacked by the spiders, but are believed to be pranksters by the 911 receiver. Harlan jumps from the roof after the tarantulas break open the gates and lets the spiders enter the mall and lands in some bushes where he meets Pete. And this is when he's on the antennas when he yells out, "Get out, get away, or get back, you eight-legged freaks.
You eight-legged freaks." Yeah.
While the townsfolk
new title.
are in the basement, Brett arrives on a forklift that brings down the locked gate, and they all head through the mines to the front entrance, discovering the methane-filled tunnels. Yeah, they mentioned a few times that the tunnels are full of methane. In fact, there's a part where Chris goes down to check on something with some of the miners early on and is talking about methane and masks and stuff. After freeing Wade, Chris goes to look for Gladys in the mines and finds her and the gold vein his father had claimed to have discovered. Hooray.
This is really cool. Gladys, like, you look like an angel, all of the gold behind you. And he's like, what? And he turns around and it's literally the gold.
Yeah. Filled with joy to realize that his father is not delusional like Wade or many people claim, this moment of celebration is cut short as they are confronted by the gigantic Consuela, using perfume to distract the spiders. Somebody had mentioned this earlier in the film about perfume and smells. and is using perfume to distract the spider and escaping on Brett's motorcycle. Chris then blows up the mines using Gladys's smoking addiction and the high concentration of methane gas, blowing up the mall and destroying Consuela and her spider army before the police arrive. Wade is distraught at the destruction of the mall and hopes that the insurance will cover the damages. As the story ends, Harlan concludes his radio report that the town has decided to cover up the whole incident, but let Harlan continue broadcasting the incident. What? Harlan states that Chris reopened the mine, informing that another story was coming by giving a toothy smile, revealing several golden teeth.
When the mayor has the insurance moment, it really reminded me of, this is so stupid, but it really reminded me of the Tiger King, because you remember when the guy got his arm bit off by the tiger, and it just like shows the Tiger King, and he's not like, oh no, my employee or my friend, or he's like, I'm never gonna financially recover from this.
Yeah. Asshole.
It was very much that moment.
Do you remember Tiger King, folks? It seems a lifetime ago. They didn't mention, though, that a whole bunch of like policemen and firefighters too, I think, from other municipalities come driving up to the rescue. The army doesn't come, but these guys all come because
from Tucson.
I believe they showed up because they listened to Harlan's show all the time. And they're like, this is it. Harlan needs our help. He's calling. The invasion's happening. So Harlan throughout is convinced that these are not earthly spiders, that they must be from outer space or something.
Yeah, and the way that the whole kind of town and movie plays it is like, he's this conspiracy guy and don't believe him, like he's full of shit like the whole time. So I really loved how that moment when everyone shows up and they're like, I was like, fuck yeah, like he gets his glory moment because he fucking deserves it.
They do all listen to him all the time, though. It seems like he was playing in the diner and stuff. So let's see. There was a thing. I don't want to just read the whole Wikipedia article, but it was filmed as the mall were shot in the Mainstay Town Center, a closing mall in Glendale, Arizona. It says the mall was demolished a year after shooting was completed and redeveloped. Its demolition was featured in the film as a consequence of the tunnel's methane gas explosion. I'm not.
Wow.
The way they phrase that makes it sound like they used the actual demolition, but I don't see how they could have if it was demolished a year after shooting was completed. I think they're just saying. I think they've just phrased that awkwardly. That they showed it getting demolished, but it wasn't actually demolished until a year later. So.
I did read somewhere that this movie was filmed in like 40 days. Like, that's it. Very quick.
Yeah. Now, they probably spent a whole lot of time in post-production on those spiders.
Yeah.
The film was dedicated to several people. Louis Arquette, father of David, who died in 2001 from heart failure, and who stars with him in Scream 2, I believe. Don Devlin and Pilar Stewart, the parents of producer Dean Devlin, who died of lung cancer in 2000 and 2001. Maybe it's Scream 3. Now I gotta check. In one of the Scream movies, he's like playing the sheriff or the police chief. We just saw him in Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. Scream 2. He's Chief Lewis Hartley in Scream 2. So there you go. Okay, so that is the plot.
Eight-legged freaks.
Honeybee, anything else you want to say about Eight-Legged Freaks? There was a video game.
Oh, was there?
Eight-Legged Freaks Let the Squashing Begin was released in 2002 for PC and Mac. And there was a canceled sequel. There was one in development in 2003, supposedly, but no additional information has come forth since then.
Wah wah. I do have to say there was a moment, a Scarlett Johansson moment, where I think it's when her mom is trying to give her the taser, and she's like, just take it, you never know what's gonna happen. And she's like, don't worry, Mom, I'm not gonna end up 16 and pregnant and a trailer trash sheriff. And I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, being a sheriff is not, like, I don't know, a trashy job. And, like, you know, I don't know. It's just, I was like, maybe it's just, like, a teenager moment. I don't know, but I was like, ouch. Like, goddamn, did she just call her mom white? Like, a white trash? No, it was trailer trash, not white trash. My bad. Trailer trash sheriff. Like, good Lord. Let's see. Oh man, the sound effects of the big spider, the Consuela. Well, I guess also the orb spider too, when they're like, when he's like wrecking the trailer. But the sound effects of the feet print and the footsteps and the roar. The roars are so good. They just made me so happy. I can't get over just like the little, even when something happens and like the spider's like, ow! Like, they just make these little tiny, just chattery noises, and they just really do it for me. They make me so very happy. Something that was really cool was in the dirt bike scene with the boyfriend and all of his friends getting offed by all these spiders. There's this point where there's kind of like a zoom in into one of the spiders' faces, and we kind of see the reflection of the dirt bikes like zooming off in the spider's eyes. That was super cool. I really loved that. I loved any time the spiders were like spinning someone up. It was super cool. Loved the cocoon moments. Oh yeah, when the spiders are attacking the kids, the mom is like, keys, where are my keys? And I was thinking, keys? Like, what the fuck? Guns? And then I realized she was trying to get the keys to the gun safe.
Yes.
But I was so confused. Was like, what do you mean keys? Like, these spiders are about to eat your fucking kids. But yeah, it was for the gun safe. I was like, okay, this is definitely shot in Arizona, not in Texas, because no one would be looking for keys. I really love when we have a movie where there's multiple, you know, like Legion, how there's just like a legion of monsters. I really love that. Something about that just really just like hits me in a different way. Like, I love all of our movies, our kaiju movies, you know, they're so good, but something about there being an army of something just feels so different, and it's so cool. I really love that so much. So that was something I really loved about this movie. Let's see what else. Yeah, I think, there is a moment that I thought was really cool, because the deputy kind of comes off as like a boob. Like, he's just kind of goofy and never really knows what to, but there was this really cool moment where he's like on the outside of these bars and someone has dropped a chainsaw, and he kind of chainsaws all these spider legs off. And I kind of felt like, good for him. Like, he got his moment of like being a hero and not just like a derp face. I think that's really it though. That's really all I have.
Okay, well, what are you gonna rate Eight-Legged Freaks?
I think I'm gonna rate it like a 4.5. It was really, this movie, it's good, it's fun. I really loved it. I really liked it anyway. I do think a lot of this movie for me is like the nostalgia, like the memory for me of like going to Blockbuster and buying popcorn and gummies and renting it with my mom, and like, ha ha ha, my sister's not gonna watch it. So like, I kind of got like this alone time with my mom. And so it's kind of a special memory for me. So that really does like elevate the movie quite a bit. But I did love it. I did enjoy it. I'm gonna say like 4.5, like a high 4 for me.
Oh, excuse me. A yawn attacked me.
Yawn attack.
I'm going to go ahead and give it 5 stars, because I think
it
really does what it set out to do. It understood the assignment.
For sure.
Did it. And like I say, I think the CGI holds up pretty well. And I always liked David Arquette. I've enjoyed Carrie Wurr in a lot of things over the years, and it's just so interesting to see a young Scarlett Johansson, because I didn't remember she was in this. I didn't know it's not like when I saw her in something later, I went, oh, that's the girl from Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah.
Nah, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had totally forgotten that she was in this. So that was fun to see.
Hers baby Scarlett.
So there you go, folks. Eight-Legged Freaks. If you enjoy the show, please rate and review it on whatever podcast thing you're listening to. Consider joining our Patreon, where we do patron-exclusive episodes and early releases whenever I can get them edited in time. And as long as we have a manageable number of patrons, you can request a movie for us to do. Next week's movie is Godzilla Against Mechagodzilla. 2002. Now, some of the recent Godzillas I said weren't streaming, but it seems like they are streaming again. I mean, the recent ones that we've covered. So check Pluto, check Tubi, check those places, and see if they are streaming. Because I think there were some things that went away and then came back. So there you go. Go check out our website, mmftg.com, where you can find the links to all of our things, the Instagram, the Twitter, that kind of stuff. So thanks for listening. Until next week, I have been Precious D.
And I have been Honey Bee.
Remember to keep calm and take shelter in basements.
And please, don't misuse science.
We won't see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go.
Get back, you eight-legged freaks!
You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review us on your podcasting platform of choice. Our theme song is by the Texacato Folk Rock Punk featuring Lita Lopez. You can support the show, find links to our social media, and even leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/mmftg.